This review is made possible by Toyota of Naperville. Toyota of Naperville is the largest Toyota dealer in Illinois with hundreds of new and used vehicles in their inventory. Visit www.toyotaofnaperville.com or in person at 1488 West Ogden Avenue in Naperville, Illinois.
Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I have an extra special review for you guys. This is my first ever two-car review. And so before we get started, how this is going to work is I'm reviewing the hybrid Corolla as well as the standard gas Corolla. So if you'll notice down in the bottom right hand corner, there will be two little dots, a green dot and a yellow dot. The yellow dot will specify that it is only for the gas engine vehicle. The green dot will specify that it is only for the hybrid vehicle. And then when both dots are present, that means that it is for both the hybrid and the gas Corolla. I'm really interested to see how the two engines compare, as well as there will be some minor interior differences. So if you're wondering if this applies to the hybrid, if it applies to the gas, or if it applies to both, just check for that dot down in the corner and you will get your answer. So without further ado, let's do a review of the 2020 Toyota Corolla. Well, up front is a 1.8 liter inline four with a hybrid system. You are able to drive in full EV mode in the hybrid under certain speeds. Paired to it is a CVT transmission. Now up front in the gasoline only Corolla, we do have a 1.8 liter. Now this is the LE, and you actually can get a 2 liter if you go up the higher trim levels, but this is the 1.8. It's the same 1.8 liter that is in the hybrid. And the gas engine is also paired to a CVT. If you'd like to read more of my thoughts, head on over to carmarshal.com/overdrive, or I'll be writing a complete article about both of the 2020 Corollas. So first we'll talk about the hybrid. This is the first Toyota Corolla hybrid ever offered for the year of 2020. And honestly, it's a little bit surprising that it's taken Toyota this long to finally create a hybrid Corolla, but here it is. I love the noises that it makes. I think when it's in electric mode, I think it sounds really cool. I think it sounds futuristic, and that's true with all other hybrids. I just think that they sound really great. All right, so we are in the 2020 Corolla Hybrid. This is the hybrid pull. So I'm just leaving it in whatever. Not bad. You definitely feel it kick in with the gas engine helping out, but as soon as I got off the gas, just that corner right there you guys just saw, it's back to EV mode. I am completely off of the gas. And the RPM gauge is just sitting at 0, but obviously I'm still moving. That's really cool. At slow speeds, the car will just run off of electricity, and I really, really like that. Acceleration isn't bad. You definitely feel when the engine does kick on. You definitely hear it out the back when you are doing an acceleration pull, but besides that, it's very smooth and you don't feel any shifts, which I really, really like. All right, so we'll do an acceleration test in the gasoline only 1.8 liter Corolla. It's a 1.8 liter. The hybrid definitely gets the jump on just the standard 1.8 liter. It obviously has more help. They're the same engine from car to car. The hybrid just has an extra hybrid system, but the hybrid definitely feels quicker. It definitely moves quicker, and I think it makes a better sound. Last but not least, the Corolla is front wheel drive. That goes for both the hybrid and the regular. So let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have a couple gauges and a screen. In the center, I have my speedometer with a screen in the middle that I can switch to a couple different things. Right now, it's average MPG. I have an eco score, and that's it. I actually really only get 2 pages. To the left is my tachometer for the gas engine. This has no relation to the electric motors. So as of right now, we're driving in just electric mode. The tachometer is just sitting down at 0. To the right, I have fuel and coolant temperature. The regular Corolla has a couple interesting gauges. On the far left is my tachometer with coolant down at the bottom. Then I have my speedometer right in the center with fuel at the bottom of that, and then I have my screen off to the right. What's interesting is that the 2020 regular Corolla gets actual gauges. They are not digital gauges, which is interesting, but that screen off to the right, I can select a lot more things than I can in the hybrid. So like I have my actual monitoring out front, my trip odometer, my settings, my messages, and of course my speed in digits as well as my distance to empty. On the steering wheel, on the left, I get my controls for that center screen. On the right, I get my collision warning button, lane keep assist button, track changes for the radio, and my cruise control settings. To the left, nothing crazy, but I do have my automatic high beams button. This will turn on your high beams when it senses that nothing is in front of you. And then on the door, we do have window switches. The window switches feel a little bit cheap. As you could probably see, this car has 21 miles on it, and they're already just a little bit worn, a little misshapen. Interestingly enough, all of the windows are one touch down, one touch back up, but none of them mention it. There's no indication on the switches that they are one touch down, one touch up. Normally, automakers either put like a line or it says auto on the switch, but Corolla doesn't do that. In the center, we get a big display. Now, right now, it's displaying my range of fuel as well as some other statistics about the hybrid drivetrain. Well, we can go home, we can go to menu, we can get all of our audio here, our apps, which you can get new apps. Right now, currently on the car is iHeartRadio, Slacker, NPR One, Yelp, and Fuel. This is also where you can get your navigation. It's not currently installed on this car, but you can get your navigation up here on the screen. Then I have my climate controls. Again, nothing crazy here. They're very easy to read and they're very simple, and I really, really like that. Then we come down to the shifter. For the hybrid, we have drive mode, off, and EV mode. So drive mode, we have normal, power, that's gonna really kick in the gas engine, and then we have eco, which is going to help you get more efficiency. Then of course the traction control off button, nothing crazy there, and then EV mode. So EV mode will kick in just the electric motors, which is nice. Up above the shifter in the normal Corolla, there is no EV or mode button. For obvious reasons, there is no electric drivetrain in this Corolla. Down on the shifter, I've never seen this in a car before, there is a B. And after doing some digging through the owner's manual, B is for driving, but it has added braking, assume that's where the B comes from, for downhill driving. At first I thought this was just a hybrid only thing, maybe some regenerative braking going on, but no, it's in the normal Corolla as well. Then below the shifter, I have my parking brake and my auto hold button. Then I get a decent center console. The seats, they're comfortable. They're nothing to really brag about. They're cloth seats. They're pretty much what you would find in any other normal car. It's not too exciting there. Now the Corolla is a 4-door, so we will do a backseat review. So we're in the back of the 2020 Corolla. We're in the back of the hybrid, but because both cars are the LE trim model, really the back seat here isn't going to see any changes between the hybrid and the gas engine. So we're just going to do the review in the hybrid. Again, I can't stress this enough. They are the same between both cars. So back here, I do have my one touch down, one touch back up windows, which are really quick, and I really like the buttons back here. I do get a little light, nothing too crazy there. The seats are rather comfortable. Legroom is actually pretty good for a compact car. I do have a center console, 2 little cup holders, which is nice. But other than that, really basic back seats. It's a Corolla. It's an entry-level vehicle, and so you're not going to find a whole lot of pizzazz in the back seat. If you want a Toyota with a really good back seat, check out the Avalon. You're going to be paying a lot more for the longer wheelbase. But overall, really can't complain about the back seat. It's functional. It's enough room for a compact car. Now, something you will notice is that the normal Corolla has a tan interior, while the hybrid Corolla has a black interior. Honestly, I can't really pick out any major differences between materials. The interiors feel the same. If you get a tan interior, it will make the car feel lighter, but that's what all tan interiors do anyway. Overall, I think the interior quality of both Corollas is decent. Like I keep saying, this is an entry-level car. I don't expect fine Italian stitching across the dashboard. Now the keys. At first I was very puzzled why they would give the Corollas 2 different keys. The reason for it is actually that the gas-only Corolla key, you actually have to put in and turn like an actual key. The hybrid, you can leave the key in your pocket, it's a push-button start. Why that doesn't transfer from gasoline engine to hybrid engine, I'm not quite sure. But that does make the hybrid feel just a little bit newer, and I'll get to that later on. Now, let's talk about the redesign of the 2020 Corolla, which is really one of the reasons why I'm doing this review. First of all, I think it's really cool to do this review because it's a 2020 and it's April of 2019. Like, this is next year's model, which I think is really cool. And thank you, Toyota, for letting me film these cars. They literally just got here. But also because I walked into Toyota's showroom and this thing caught my eye and I said, what is that? I didn't recognize it at first. I thought it was a new model entirely. But I really like the redesign. I think it looks very fresh. I like the rear end. I like the front a lot. I think the front looks great. And really, out of an economy car, because this is on the cheaper end, it doesn't get much better than this. I don't think any economy car is really going to win a design competition, but this looks really good. I'm really happy with it. Both cars are in white, so we could get the best sort of comparison between the two. The last thing we'll talk about with the 2020 Corolla is that a little while ago, I reviewed a 1999 Corolla. And the reason I reviewed a 1999 Corolla is, first of all, it was stick shift, and I'll never turn down a stick shift car. Secondly, I knew that I was going to do this 2020 Corolla at some point, and so I wanted a little bit of perspective. And so look at the two cars next to each other, look at the two cars side by side, and look at just how much they've changed in 20 years. From 1999 to 2019, I know this is the 2020 model, but it's 2019. Look at how much they've changed. Look at the differences the cars show. And so my first reaction is what everyone else would probably say is, oh, cars are getting too big. They're way too big nowadays. That's my first reaction looking at those pictures. But think about this. First of all, safety. This car is miles safer than the 1999 Corolla. This has lane departure warning, collision warning, airbags everywhere. This is a much safer car. And as we're driving right now, I am in the hybrid. You can now get a Corolla that's a hybrid. That's awesome. And so while, yes, they've gotten bigger, yes, stick shifts have been harder and harder to find, although they do still make the 2020 with a stick shift, the core idea, the core philosophy of the Corolla hasn't changed at all. This is the low entry-level sedan for people looking for new cars. I've reviewed a 99, I've reviewed a 2015, and now I've reviewed a 2020. And if anything has stayed consistent between those three model years, 99, 15, and 2020, it is the idea that this is a car for the common person. This is a car for common people. And now, with that added addition of the hybrid, more and more people can be more eco-friendly. More and more people can get access to a hybrid. You know, this is sort of the Nintendo of cars, because before the Nintendo, in order to play video games, you had to download them on your computer, you had to do some back entry level sort of thing. And I know that there were some consoles that came before the Nintendo, sure, but the Nintendo was in every house. It was available to every person. And so, sure, let's take like the Sega or something like that came before the Nintendo. That's like Tesla, you know, or that's like Fisker Karma, where a very select number of people can have access to that or had access to that. But the Nintendo was in every single household. Every parent over the age of 40, no matter who makes the video game console, they call it a Nintendo. It's the Xerox of game consoles. And I think if there were a few less auto manufacturers available to the public, maybe this would be the Xerox of cars. Maybe this would be the Band-Aid or the Kleenex of cars. The Corolla is for the masses, and now they've brought the hybrid to the masses. And there's something to be said about that. And now, at the conclusion of this video, I can give a proper comparison between the hybrid and the gasoline-only Corolla. And my consensus is, I think I would take the hybrid. Now, I'll put up on screen the price differences between the LE hybrid and the regular LE, because I know that is a factor for a lot of people. But my reason for choosing the hybrid, well, actually I have a few reasons for choosing the hybrid. First of all, it feels a lot more new. They both get the same exterior and interior redesign for 2020, but this just feels like an upgraded 2018 Corolla rather than something completely new. The hybrid Corolla had totally different gauges. It felt different. It felt new. It felt cool. It felt cutting edge, like I mentioned with my Nintendo analogy. And that's not to say that the regular gasoline Corolla, is lame by any means or uncool or that I think the redesign failed. I like the interior. I just think, for me personally, I think the hybrid does a better job of feeling newer. My second reason is you don't buy a Corolla to beat people at the Route 66 dragway. You don't buy a Corolla to absolutely carve up the canyons in Southern California. You buy a Corolla because you want a reliable, dependable, cheap entry-level car. You don't have millions of dollars to spend on a car. You need to get where you're going, and you want to be able to get there reliably and in somewhat style. That's what the Corolla's for, and that's why I would choose the hybrid. Because it feels newer, it gets better gas mileage, it has electric mode, it's quiet, and overall, I have to say I'd lean hybrid. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys learned something about the 2020 Toyota Corolla, both the hybrid and gasoline-only options. Huge thank you to Toyota of Naperville. They've helped me get these reviews going, and I saw this car in the showroom, and I said, you know, I have to drive one of those, because it's 2020. We're in the future, guys, and that's really cool. So thanks again to Toyota of Naperville. Their information is up on the screen, but thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.
There goes a sight from my soul.